Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Anarchy for Freedom, India's home for conspiracy research and free thinking. Today we are joined by our very special guest, as you must have seen in the Hindi interview that we did with him as well. His name is Ashok Patel and he has pretty much gone viral in India for all the activism that he does on the streets and going around and helping people to understand in his area of Rajkot that whatever is going on right now is not as we are being told by the government, and he has played a big role in inspiring many activists around the country as well, who have taken a lot of inspiration from him and have gone on to do the kind of work that he does. So Ashok bhai, thank you so much for coming on. How are you?
Fine,
Thank you.
fine, very fine.
Thank you for coming on. So I guess we could just start with your story, your background, as to how you got into the situation you're in today. Like, what really got you to start researching Corona, obviously, but before that also, what got you to research certain things that you discuss in other videos?
Yes, actually, I started it in the year 2005. 2005. It was a movement for compulsory helmet. It was a movement for compulsory helmet. That was my starting. And today, it is about Corona. It is just a imaginary and a fraud, a cheating.
Definitely.
So we are doing it here in Rajkot with my some colleagues, my friends.
All right. So maybe you could tell viewers about why you really opposed the mandatory helmet law when it was imposed in Rajkot. Why did you feel that you have to disobey that law and make other people aware about it?
Yes, it was because I was feeling that I have got all my senses with me and I can decide what is good for me, and that's why I was hurt by the compulsion. By the compulsion, the compulsion, I took it as if my government, my government is thinking that I don't have brain, and that was the only reason. That was the only reason. When I am riding a bike, it is up to me. When it is about my head, so government forgot that in my that head there is a brain. There is a brain. So I was hurt by the compulsion, and that was the reason. And I wrote on my bike in Gujarati that it is my head. In Gujarati, it is called A Mathu Maru Che. A Mathu Maru Che means his head is mine.
Awesome. That's very great to hear. And I really got happy after seeing that, because I thought early on that very few people in India understood that we own our body. Because many people think that the government owns our body to some extent. This is why they tell us that suicide is illegal. But I was very happy to see that, very old and respected people like you also believe that, understand that our body is ours only. The state doesn't own our body, so we should decide always what happens to our body and what doesn't. So at this point I want you to just tell viewers basically about how this principle of self ownership, that we all own our body, how does it apply to mandatory masks and vaccines as well? Because like you said that we own our body on our own, so then how can the government force us to wear masks, and how can they force us to get vaccinated when the vaccine arrives? What are your thoughts on that?
It is actually very wrong on part of the government. Once, when government has already given us the details of corona, and when lockdown was declared, and even after the lockdown, even after 2 months of the lockdown, government today is also forcing us to wear masks. I think once government has given us the knowledge, it is enough for us, as all of us, we are very much aware of everything. We can manage of our body, manage for any type of cold or fever. We can manage very well. So once it has been, uh, once the details has been given by the government, it should be enough for the citizens, and that's why. And here also, what did you told about the body? So we have also got a placard like this. Here, here I have written, "यह शरीर मेरा है, सरकार का नहीं." So main thing is here that government government declares and behaves as if we are the slaves, we are not citizens, and in actual, we are the masters of the country. We are the masters of the country. What our preamble of the Constitution says, it starts with the words, "We the people of India." We the people of India actually has constructed and has given the present constitution to itself. And that feeling, we are not receiving that feeling. And that's why that is the only reason that we have to fight out against this invisible slavery. Invisible slavery.
Definitely. I'm in full agreement with you on that. And I want you to explain to viewers that when you are going out on the streets, I will play the videos now of you going out on the streets and saying certain things. But why don't you just, in short, tell our English audience as to what you are really going out on the streets and saying in these videos? Like there is a video about you holding a protest against Bill Gates and Modi, and you're tearing down the flyers. And there's another video of you giving information to people about the dangers of masks. So can you tell the viewers what you are really saying in those videos?
દાદુભાઈ છેટાર્યું
ચાલુ કરો જૂતા મારવાનો ભારત 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 બહુ ગઈ ભાઈ મતદારો જાગો આ લોકોને હવે સમજણ આપવી પડશે કોરોના મોટું કૌભાંડ છે WHO ચાલ્યો બાપા લ્યો હવે હાલો લ્યો બાપા અવાજ કરો
वंदे स्वराज,
वंदे स्वराज
ये शरीर मेरा है,
ये शरीर मेरा है
बराबर. અને હવે આજે આપણા અહીંના કાર્યક્રમમાં આપણે અહીંયા આ 7 બેનરો જે છે મિત્રો જોઈ લ્યો. આ 7 કૌભાંડિયાઓ કોરોના માટે જે જવાબદાર છે. કોરોના નામનો કોઈ પણ વાયરસ ક્યાંય છે નહીં. આ કૌભાંડ છે અને આ કૌભાંડને ફેલાવવા વાળા હરામખોરો, બદમાશ, નાલાયક, બાજી, આ 7 અહીંયા બેનર મારેલા છે એ છે. સૌથી પહેલા આપણો કાર્યક્રમ છે કે આપણા સત્યાગ્રહીઓ દરેક બેનરની સામે ઊભા રહી, આટલા દૂર ઊભા રહી અને બધા ગોઠવાઈ જાઓ અને સંસદીય ભાષામાં અહીંયા ભાઈ દીપકભાઈ આટલા દૂર નીચે અને સંસદીય ભાષામાં એને ગાળો આપો બધાને. આપણા જોડાના હકદાર છે.
મારો 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 આ રૂપાણી બાકી મારો 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 મારો
ભારત માતાની જય
Yes, in that video, what you are talking about, Bill Gates and Narendra Modi and everything. In that video, actually, what has happened? Actually, we asked for the permission. We asked the permission for education from our local police commissioner, and he denied us the permission. And after that, we went to meet him personally, and with our written presentation, we requested him that this is not fair, that you are not permitting us to have some talks with my country people, citizens of my country. We have got right in the constitution that we should have communication with each other. And when they are not permitting, it was very wrong. We requested them to permit us, and even then, they denied. And that was the reason of our anger. And due to that anger, when we have wrote a letter before 2 months to PM and President of the country, along with some more 20 people, respected people of the country, even Chief Chief Justice of Supreme Court. We also addressed a letter to Chief Justice of Supreme Court, and we have not received any answer from anybody. And that was the reason of our anger. And we beat all those people who are responsible for this imaginary corona and this scandal of the millennium. And that's why we beat them with our shoes and chappals. With our shoes and chappals. And actually, everybody from us, we were very light after beating them. And today also, whenever we go into the people, we go into the streets, we talk with the common man of the country, common man of Rajkot. We tell them about the scandal. We tell them about the masks. When we wear masks, our nose and mouth is closed. And that's why we cannot breathe the fresh air. And when we cannot inhale fresh air, then it is but natural. We cannot get oxygen. We cannot get oxygen. And when we have closed our nose and mouth with the mask, then it is also natural that what we bring out from our body is the carbon dioxide. And accordingly, we are taking again and again that carbon dioxide in our body. So it is very dangerous. It is very, very much dangerous. And that is the only reason we are telling people that one is the fear. One is the fear, which brings down the immunity of the person. When we are afraid, when we are very much afraid, then automatically the immunity collapses. And then when we wear masks, it is also very much combination of both fear and mask. It results into a patient. It results into a patient. When any person is much afraid and having mask on her body, then automatically he turns into a patient and is admitted into hospital. And after that, we very well know what is going on in the country. Those PPE kits and gloves and everything, what the people wear in the hospitals. The total atmosphere which is there in the hospital, it makes people frightened. And that is the only reason of their death. The treatment is the result. The treatment is the result. And that is the only reason. So, in all total, fear, mask, and treatment. This is the reason of death. So we tell people about all these things in common man's language.
Very nice. I agree with you on most things. Obviously, the masks have risks that we are not being told about, and everyone, even healthy people, for the first time in history, are being advised to wear a mask. Whereas when pandemics have happened in the past, only people who are actually sick would have to wear one. So it is total upside down what is going on right now. So I just wanted the viewers to get your thoughts on what do you think is the real agenda behind this scam? What do you think? Who's firstly who's doing it, and what do they really want to achieve by implementing this all over the world?
Actually, now it is very much open, it is very much clear to the world. The mastermind is Bill Gates. Mastermind is Bill Gates of Microsoft. And first of all, the scandal came in the brain of Bill Gates. And after that, Bill Gates with Bill Gates approached some of his wealthy friends wealthy friends. So all those people, they collectively, they have done one thing. They have approached WHO, the Director General of WHO, Dr. Tedros. And after that, Dr. Tedros, what he has done, WHO is the most powerful or most reliable organization in the sector of health. And so when WHO took all the things in uh, its hands, then WHO gave guidance to the member nations. There are more than 150 member nations who are with WHO. And so when WHO gave the guidance, it was the result of which turned into lockdown in our country. It was the guidance of WHO that our PM declared lockdown. And after that, even masks and sanitizer and social distancing, thermal gun, everything is the result of uh, guidance from WHO. And just WHO and Bill Gates, they all planned how to make people frightened. And in this fear game, media also came there, and media is doing today also. Media is doing only one task, by all means, to distribute, to give fear and make people frightened. And some manufacturers who have nothing to do with coronavirus or anything, they are doing as if they are taking all the chances of this time. This time they are advertising their products in the name of corona. Everybody is advertising their products in the name of corona. There are one or two names. There is one name, Lifebuoy soap. Lifebuoy soap was formerly also it was there, and today is also there. The same Lifebuoy soap means Lifebuoy has nothing to do with corona. Even then, they are making use of word corona. Some insurance companies, they are also using name of corona. So thus everybody is spreading the fear. So this is only the business of fear. This is the business of vaccine. At the same time, this is the business of oxygen. We have got all the fresh air before us, and even then, government is not permitting us to breathe fresh air. And after that, when we are admitted in the hospital, they are giving us oxygen which is stored in cylinders. So this is all very silly, uh, very silly. This is the game to sell vaccines, to sell oxygens, to have income from laboratories and tests and all these allopathy field. So actually, it is the mistake of ours that we are trusting allopathy, allopathy, when we already got some other branches from our ancestors, Ayurveda and homeopath and also naturopath. So it is very big mistake on our parts that we are trusting allopathy. And from past records also, it is very much clear that WHO is the very bad notorious. Yes, WHO is very much notorious about its games. In the year 2009 also, there was a game planned of H1N1, and afterwards an inquiry was put up, and in that inquiry, WHO was found guilty. So all the time, WHO, actually the birth of WHO, we should know about the birth of WHO. From where did WHO came into existence? So the people who know, they very well know that after Second World War, when imperialism came to an end, uh, some some organizations like UNESCO, WHO, WTO were all formed by the developed nations of the world. It was their hidden agenda after the Second World War. They openly declared for WHO that WHO will worry about the health of the world. But it was the open agenda, but the hidden agenda was that, and is now it is very much visible that the hidden agenda of WHO is to make people ill and and push people into the hospital and to sell vaccines and medicines. So the WHO is formed by the developed nations of the world and to extract, to absorb the undeveloped countries of the world.
Yes, I agree with a lot of what you said there. The WHO was originally created by the Rockefellers along with the UN and other agency. And the WHO's main role was to act as a central dictator of health policies worldwide and also play a role in banning things other than allopathy. So they want to suppress naturopathy and homeopathy and Ayurveda, which is why we see what is going on right now with the treatment and how they are actually treating these patients, how they are not allowing other choice of treatment and all to come in. So the WHO was created for this very purpose by, you say, developed nations, but behind those developed nations also there are international banking families like the Rothschilds and Rockefellers and other families that actually
Yes, yes,
created
right,
these organizations and brought them into existence. So I fully agree with you over
right.
there. And also, if you don't know, in 6 weeks before Corona started, in this Bill Gates World Economic Forum and John Hopkins University did an simulation exercise called Event 201, where they predicted that this coronavirus outbreak is going to happen and how they will censor information about it, calling it misinformation, how they will have to do lockdowns that they've never done before. So all this planning and prior knowledge had already existed before Corona actually started. So I wholly agree with you that it's a big scam, and it's not just about money, it's also about controlling us and taking our rights away, which I know that you understand very well. But to just stress it to the
Yes,
viewers that money, obviously they're making a lot of money from selling the vaccines and everything, but they want to also create a surveillance state where they are watching us all the time, and they want us to lose our independent financial livelihood so that they can make us dependent on the government. And all the other agendas, control agendas are also taking place at the same time. So I want you to tell viewers as to how do you think that, firstly, how would you resist vaccines when they come? And secondly, what is your advice to the people who are watching? What should the people of India be doing today, according to you, to solve this crisis?
First of all, we should leave masks. We should all avoid masks, wearing of masks. When we avoid masks, fear will go away. Fear will go away, and naturally, corona also will go away. Actually, we have made a slogan: uh, no fear, no mask, no corona. So it is the only key to get rid of corona. And also, we should be ready to avoid vaccines also. Vaccines which will come in the later stage. So we should boycott vaccines from the very beginning. From now onwards, we should propagate to boycott vaccines, and that will be the only way to get rid of corona.
Of course, we'll face a lot of challenges, but that's the right thing, and we all have to do that. So if we all come together and collectively reject it, any percentage, any significant percentage of the population, if they do that, the government is not going to be able to enforce it on everyone else. So we have to leave our fear aside, which I'm sure that a lot of people take inspiration from you, because you are such a fearless person who just does the right thing, what you believe is right, regardless of what is going on around you. So obviously, my deep respects to you for doing what you do, and thank you so much for coming on.
One more thing I will put here, that from last week we have started lighting holies in the streets, holies of masks. Little छोटी छोटी होली हम जला रहे हैं. We are lighting holy of masks in streets. People are coming with us, and thus the message is also going, and people are also very happy with the holy, and fear also goes away. Fear which is spreading in the atmosphere, it also goes away when people comes together and they are shouting some slogans also. Some slogans, Vande Swaraj, and Inqilab Jindabad, and such slogans also makes the atmosphere somewhat light.
Very nice. I saw those videos and I was really encouraged to see those people also coming along and burning their masks on the side. So again, my deepest respect to you for doing what you do and coming on. And just to wrap up, I wanted to get your daughter's views on what she thinks about what you're doing, and also about your work in general. Like, what do you think about what Ashok Bhai is doing with everything that's going on?
I've been with him since, ever since I was born. So his story has been very inspirational to me personally, because I've seen him, grow as a self-made man. So we were basically business people from Calcutta, and we migrated to Gujarat. And there he set up his own sweet business empire. So, I've seen him pioneering sweet business in Gujarat and how he did all that. So starting from there, and then his spiritual life, his beliefs in Bhagavad Gita, and how he has lived Gita throughout his life. And now, starting with the helmet protest, coming up with a slogan which says, "This head belongs to me." So that was something which is, which hit us personally, because it was a very simple statement which really meant a lot. And right now also, he has no need personally to really go out and, protest and, reach out to people. There is no selfish motive at his hand. His life is very, very comfortable. So we live in a very lavish house with, business flourishing and things like that. But he wakes up every day 6 o'clock in the morning, and he's out on the streets with these banners, just taking a walk, talking to people, taking out all that fear from their head, talking to them sweetly. If there are people who are not in sync with what he thinks, he makes a point to, put things very sweetly across to them. respecting their views, at the same time being firm to his beliefs. So I mean, for me, he's a legend. And he's a legend. I mean, time will for sure, nail it even more.
Yeah, I wholly
I'm
agree
very
with you
proud.
there. He's yeah, we are all very proud of him and what he does. And I'm telling you, like, because I know so many activists in the country, like, he is what has inspired a lot of people to really take action and get off social media and actually take to the streets. Like, he's one of the, I would say, even in my activism, kind of, I've started distributing more flyers. You know, it kind of feeds off when you see someone like doing it at such a scale. You also feel like, just forget about everything. Let's just go and do the work on the ground. So
And
I'm
he's
very,
very unpredictable, so he cannot be predicted.
all
He
right, both of
really,
you.
whatever
Yeah.
comes to his own conscious and his intuition, he follows that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the ultimate like principle that even I live by, that we should always do the right thing regardless of what the law says or what the state says, because otherwise we are crushing our own soul and crushing our own conscience.
Um, Along with this, he's been self-educating himself with a lot of law content.
Hmm.
So there is a case that he's been fighting all along in Supreme Court. As a party in person. So he's
without help of any advocate.
Yeah, without help of any advocate. So I mean, he's well read. He knows how to speak in the language of law. He is very, very non-violent. Even the group of people, they are very non-violent. Basically, they are not people who are going to harm the society in general, or carry on protests which have no meaning. I am really proud the way he executes the whole thing. Like, and he doesn't play safe, but he is definitely a very potent player.
Very nice to hear. Just thank you so much, both of you, to Ashok Bhai and obviously to your daughter for joining us. And I hope that a lot of people take again this inspiration from everything he does, and it motivates us to, just stand for the truth in general. Because like right now, our rights have been eradicated. Most of our rights have been dissolved, and what's coming down the road in some time is obviously much worse. What these people want to do. So I'll just encourage people to, like, connect with your heart, like start to think about, serving society instead of just being focused in your own lives and staying in your own bubbles, thinking that you can just go on living your life and everything will be okay. Everything will not be okay. It's already not okay, and it's going to get much worse. So again, just thank you so much, both of you, for coming on, and have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
If you like my work and you want to support me, please consider signing up on my Patreon or Float account, where you could support me with monthly donations and receive certain benefits for the same, like early access to my videos, asking me questions, bi-weekly Indian news put into context, and a lot more. You could also support me via Bitcoin or UPI. The details have been put in the description box below. I'm only supported by my viewership and don't take any money from vested interests, so if you want to support independent media and conspiracy research in India, please consider helping me out. No sum is too small. Thanks.